Hello guys, how are we today? Today we're going to share 5 important things that you need to know about this man, Martin Luther King Jr., the guy who shaped the form of America. So the first thing I want to share with you guys is when he was born in Atlanta, his name was not Martin Luther King Jr. He was born Michael King Jr. in January 15, 1929. In 1932, his dad made a trip to Germany. He was so inspired about that he changed him and his son's name to Martin Luther King. Now, Martin Luther King grew up in the Jim Crow law days. So it's only, people only is white and colored. They didn't want peach and brown to be together. They didn't want to do in the same restaurants and the same schools or even in the same buses. Well, the colored people had to do in the back, the peach has to be in the front. And that's how Martin Luther King grew up in. He had a friend, his name was Michael. When he was younger, Michael was Peach, but he couldn't play with him anymore because it was Peach. The second thing, he graduated high school to go into college at 15 years old. Can you believe that? That's mind-blowing. 15 years old in college. That's like older than most people. Some people can be in middle school at this age. He was in college at this age. He was so smart. He skipped 2 grades, and that's why he went to college at 15 years old. Wow. He married his wife, Coretta Scott King, in 1953. The next year, he moved into Montgomery, Alabama, and became a pastor. Even though that's the spark of his work for civil rights. He became a pastor at Dexter Street Baptist Church in Montgomery, and he began his work in civil rights. He also went into Boston University for 1 year at graduate school. In 1955, Rosa Parks didn't want to give up his seat in the front of the seat, and she got arrested. That sparked a 13-month, 381 days bus boycott in 1955 to 1956. Martin encouraged everybody to march or to go in the car, but to never ride the bus to any place they're going, to restaurants or to school or to work. And that sparked the first victory of the civil rights movement. 3 years later, though, something bad happened. This is the second thing I want to share with you guys. Did you know Martin Luther King almost died? In 1958, there was a random girl who stabbed her, and someone who, even Martin Luther King, if he sneezed or coughed, he would die right away. And thankfully, the doctor treated him. In 1961, he went to jail, and that sparked in Birmingham, Alabama, one of the most famous letters in history. Speaking about letters, the third thing I want to share with you guys, he made almost 4,000 speeches, 5 books, 65 articles, and this was one of his most famous speech. The I Have a Dream speech. This is him with John F. Kennedy. This was the march on Washington for jobs and freedom in 1963, August 28th. He let his words flow. He let his words flow in all the country, and even all of the world. He was literally sharing the world. He said, I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. And that day he did have a dream. First thing I want to share with you guys is that even all the people he worked with, they all appreciate because he was trying to work for civil rights, and that's why in 1964 he won the Nobel Peace Prize at only 35 years old, becoming the youngest person to win the Nobel Peace Prize. He sparked the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and it was all thanks to Martin Luther King and all the friends that he worked with just to do all those stuff because, of course, he was a fighter for freedom. He supported freedom riders, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, But I want you to know tonight, we as people will get to the promised land. But sadly, that would be his last speech because the next day, well, he got shot and killed. And, well, that's why we need to know his dream that little peach boys and peach girls will join hand in hand with little brown boys and brown girls as brothers and sisters. That's why every third Monday in January it's Martin Luther King Day. That's why we all supposed to learn about how this man changed the form of this nation. Why this man did everything he can, did so many peaceful protests just to make our nation better. And that's why today we're better. So that's the 5 things I want to share with you guys. Don't forget to subscribe.